What's up, people? Welcome to this week's episode of the Indy and Doctor podcast. Let's jump into it. Hunji, Benjis, and Baji's, because I don't do that intro enough, and now I'm going to start reintroducing it. Okay?
Right.
Gordon, have you seen this clip? Wait for it.
3, 2, 1.
Oh, wait for it.
Internet failure.
You want me to come here to Canada and storm those fucking temples? Come to Canada and storm the fucking Sikh temple. They have no right to have those kind of temples. They promote hate. They promote terrorism. The Indian army must come to Canada and must storm the Khalistan Sikh temple. Storm the Sikh temple.
Did you see that clip?
I didn't see that full version of it though. I think I've seen maybe the first half of that.
First 10 seconds, yeah.
Yeah, I didn't see that last bit. So that
It
was
gets
good
worse
actually.
when you see the last bit.
Yeah,
right?
It was great content. I mean, he's inciting full-on repeat of 84 violence essentially. I mean, that's he knows what he's saying. He's very intentional with that. Calling the Indian army to come and storm temples.
I'm sure people will be like, what's this about? Where's this come from? Well, I'm going to give you guys a breakdown of what I've done on research from looking online. I went to Sikh Expo, the Instagram page. Check them out. They cover all things Sikh, problems, political things, achievements as well, not just problems. But they obviously celebrate Sikhs and they raise awareness of current Sikh problems. Now, they collaborate with another company called Baz News, BAAZ. That's another news organization set up for the purpose of serving Sikhs. Okay. So what I've got here is from those guys that have written articles and a full breakdown of it. This all occurred in Canada.
Yeah,
okay.
That's the first
in Brampton,
point.
especially. So this all happened as a result of a protest that occurred outside of a mandir where the Indian consulate officials were at a temple. On the one side, you had pro-Khalistan people who were protesting against the Indian consulate being there. And on the other side, you had pro-India people who were there to support everything. Okay. Now, the reason why these pro-Khalistani people were protesting, and people might get upset, by the way, by me calling it pro-Khalistani. That's what's written in a lot of these conversations. Whether you like it or not, that is unfortunately the name tag that was given by our own Sikh outlets.
Yeah, I think I think even the UK has a slightly more inflammatory term, which is PKE. Have you seen that term?
Yeah, pro-Khalistan extremist. Yeah, don't like it.
Yeah. So I think if you look at the definition of that, pro-Khalistani in favor of Khalistan, that's that is what it is. That's not good or bad. That's just describing.
Yes, when you add the E on the end, it sounds worse, doesn't it? But anyway, we will come to that later. So the reason why they were there is to protest the killing of Niger that happened recently, and that was shown to have Indian government interference as a result of it.
It's a year ago talking.
Yeah, recently being a year ago. Yeah.
By Hardeep Singh.
Okay.
Nigeria.
So you had those two things happening at the same time. There were also protests occurring simultaneously at a Gurdwara where the Indian consulate were also visiting, but there were no opposing protesters there at the same time.
Okay.
Cool. That's important to this conversation because people think it was simply done at one place as a one isolated event. That is not true. Now, the Mandir's president comes out to talk to the protesters on the pro-Khalistan side. The police were there. Everything was fine. Yep. Later that afternoon, people from the pro-India side start approaching the pro-Khalistan side and they start inciting violence, basically, having a fight. Some are arrested. The police get involved. The pro-India protesters were also carrying metal rods for protection. They also called a Sikh police officer even though he was on the front line, basically doing his job as an officer.
Maintaining peace. Yeah. Okay.
That happens on that morning. That night, 300 people who are deemed as pro-India, they planned an attack on a Gurdwara in Malton in Canada, and they allegedly said they wanted to repeat what happened in 1984. Now, bear in mind, this was done.
They allegedly said, yeah? You said?
They allegedly said that, yeah. Okay. Now, as they say this is a sensitive time for the Sikh community because we've just come out of the 40th anniversary of the pogroms and genocide that happened to our community of people in India. So to say that is a highly inflammatory time, you know exactly what the hell you're doing there, yeah? Cool. The police also then get involved, and so do Sikhs at the local Gurdwara, and they stop any violence from happening and any damage being done to the Gurdwara. Fine. Next day, there was a protest planned from a mandir where people began giving speeches inciting violence. As a result of this, people then began marching to the Gurdwara, asking them to attack. Hence the video you just saw at the top of the show that I've just played of that guy saying, go and storm the fucking Gurdwaras, which is ridiculously inflammatory, and you know what you're doing. And people are marching in that direction. The guy's name is Ron Banerjee. He's been found now. He's been arrested under suspicion of inciting violence, basically. And
who is he?
His name is Ron Banerjee. If you want to know exactly who he is, I can find it for you. Give me one sec. He's from the Hindu Conference of Canada.
Okay,
I don't know.
Canadian citizen, sounds like that.
Yeah, but I don't know what that organization is affiliated with.
Yeah. But what I mean is that was not a random banda. That was somebody in some sort of position or authority or whatever.
Yeah.
Okay.
So
he's been arrested.
Cool.
Yep.
So he's been arrested since. 6 of the local Gurdwara gathered to protect them, but the police kept all the potential commotion at bay and pushed people back onto the streets of where they came from. And there were videos of people rioting in the streets, smashing up cars moving past. Some cars were targeted that simply had a kunda on display, and they were being targeted and attacked. All this happened as a result of misinformation on social media. The misinformation was those Sikhs or pro-Khalistani people who were protesting at the Mandir were essentially having the word spread that they were there to protest against Hindus and Hinduism and the Mandir itself, not the people who were inside it. So when that misinformation spread, it then leads to Hindus versus Sikhs, and then that whole commotion occurs. And you've got the same situation that happened 40 years ago in India, 1984. That's false. That shouldn't be repeated, but that's what happened that led to these chain of events that occurred. That's the full story of what happened. People want to find out more, go to Sikh Expo and look at all the social media posts on there. Obviously, people are going to say, oh, it's biased, it's a Sikh organization. I couldn't find a reputable organization to tell me, a news outlet, to tell me exactly what happened from start to finish and why this happened. All they can tell me, which is good journalistic practice on their side, all they're saying is this happened, people were arrested, that's it. No cause of what created it. So to find the cause, you have to go to alternate news sources, and that's what we did. Cool? So, Gordon, after seeing that, what are your thoughts?
So one of the points you made right at the end there, which is about misinformation. And I remember maybe I'm going to say a couple of months ago, you sent me a picture of a Sikh gentleman who was at a petrol station just putting in petrol into his car. And they completely altered it to make he's pissing out or doing something they shouldn't be doing.
Yeah. That? And that spread across Canada to be something else. And that spread across
Canada, and that was viral. And even though I think the owner had come out and said this is false, whatever. So the power of misinformation, that's the first thing. That's just a very dangerous thing. And that's whoever's doing that, it's very intentional and they know what they're doing. Because there is a precedent of obviously what happened 1984, but even pre-1984, even though we sort of everyone moves on, they get on with their lives, most people acknowledge it happened and is genocide, it's still there, right? So, and it doesn't take a lot, clearly, for that just to ramp up and go to the next level, and for people to, on both sides, to be a bit inflammatory.
And the scars still run deep as well.
The scars run deep. Countries like Canada, I'd say America, I'd say England, part of the constitutional rights are your right to protest and express your opinion and freedom of speech, right? Something which doesn't exist in all parts of the world. I'd say India is one of those, where if you express a certain opinion and you do it enough, you can be silenced. And there are a number of examples of that in India. Recent examples. I'm not saying like back in the day, like recent examples that are happening. Sidhu being one of them, let's say, for example. But when I see people protesting, like for example, so they were, if we take this as fact, right? So they were outside the Mandir. This is the pro-Khalistani side, who are essentially protesting for the reason of this unlawful killing of a Canadian citizen on Canadian soil
by the Indian government.
By the Indian government. And the thing is, that's not being said.
It was by the Indian government.
If the Prime Minister of Canada, Justin Trudeau, goes to his parliament and says this, it's one thing for us to say. It's one thing for online groups to say. For him to go to Parliament and say that, and then say, I don't know, where he'd seen Prime Minister Modi at some G20 or G8 event, and he presented the evidence. For him to say it, he's got to be credible. And then, as I was doing a bit of research, I found there was a sort of like a parallel case, which was foiled, another planned assassination attempt in America, where the FBI had foiled it. And if you read into that, what the FBI had really sort of revealed is there was a gentleman who had tried to pay a hitman $100,000 to assassinate this person, Sikh activist, again, pro-Khalistani in America. And the hitman he was trying to pay was essentially an undercover agent for the FBI. He didn't know that, right? And what was interesting is in that discussion, when he was paying him or trying to pay him, he said, this is pre-Hardeep Singh being assassinated, that, oh yeah, this other guy's on the list. So and he'd said to him in that exchange, there are many other targets as well. So this is a very systematic, organized network that is happening. And it made me think of, you've seen that that program they made about the journalist, the dissident, about Saudi Arabia's involvement. Just get the name for me. I think it's Khashoggi or Shamogi. It's
Jamal Khashoggi. Jamal, yeah.
That's it, yeah. And he was, and again, the point that, this is a dissident from Saudi Arabia. Saudi Arabia had agents in another country and they had him assassinated. So it's not that it doesn't happen. And we know it definitely does happen, although we think we live in 2024, this stuff doesn't happen. So they have the prime minister saying it. They want to protest that. Protest doesn't mean we hate your religion. Protest doesn't mean we hate your mandir. Protest doesn't mean we hate your people. It's just the right to protest.
Yes.
But to shift that narrative so quickly to be like, no, this is about Hindu versus Sikh. It's dangerous, man.
Yep.
It's really dangerous.
Yeah.
And so that's scary in itself, that your ability, if you feel scared to express your opinion, we live in a scary world.
What I think is crazy is people have the gall to even attempt to do this in Canada. Fair enough, you could try in India, where there's a lot of corruption with the local police force and stuff, and people can get by things, and a lot of repercussions don't come to people. I mean, look at the number of people that have rape charges that go completely by, or women who get assaulted and killed, and that doesn't get picked up. So India is a very different country when it comes to law and order. Trying that stuff in India here in Canada is not going to fly, because the police are just simply quite subjective about the whole thing, and they're they're more objective about it, and they will naturally take the right stance, which is this is wrong. We shouldn't be inciting violence. That's it. There's no if, buts, or maybes.
And again, looking into what happened, so the fallout following, Justin Trudeau making that statement, and now on both sides, diplomats have been expelled.
Kicked out diplomats in both countries,
and not small, like high levels. So in each country, so for example, from the India perspective, we have this in the UK. There's one UK High Commissioner, okay, in charge of all the kind of the consular services and everything. And so each country will have that equivalent. That person was asked, I think has been not extradited isn't the correct word, I think it's expelled, they used in the thing. So this isn't a small thing. And what I'd read from the India side, they were saying, look, your evidence is erroneous, and why? And so the reverse allegation was, you're harboring Sikh activists, separatists in your country because they are the highest Sikh population outside of India, and therefore you rely on them for your vote and to stay in power, and therefore you're endorsing them for that reason. And so I was like, oh, okay, so that's what India's saying back. So A, your evidence is bollocks, and B, you're just doing this as a political move, and you shouldn't be doing this.
Which isn't true. The evidence was kind of proven. Yeah, obviously, if the Canadian government are going to come out and say that, it must be airtight. They're not going to do that on a whim. They're not going to do that with emotion. It's going to be thoroughly investigated.
To accuse another sovereign state, like, these are big countries, man, big powers. Like if you're Canada accusing India, like Canada, it's like I'd say Canada, UK, and America are kind of, aligned. Like I was reading how, maybe India hopes that it can kind of just annex Canada. But obviously Canada is tightly linked with us and America as well. But yeah, you're right. If you're going to make an allegation on that scale to such a big superpower, you've got to be airtight. So that was one thing. And then the other thing, which, I think if we find the right guest, and we'll definitely be able to find the right guest in Indy, it's worth having a discussion about Khalistan. Because I get asked a lot about this.
I don't know who to have though, bro. And this is the problem I've got. I don't know who's the right person to approach. And it's difficult because I do want the conversation, but I want to have the conversation and be able to ask not controversial questions, but questions that are going to have pushback. For example, if you want Khalistan, that's fine.
Yeah.
And you want Sikhs to have their own separate state, that's something I would be in favor in. But then when it comes to schematics and logistics of where it is, the conversation gets difficult, which is if you want it to be Punjab, that's great. But my worry is you're surrounded by so many other things as a circular state and with no access to water, etc. around it. Things can be cut off so quickly towards it. And trying to take out the heart of the top of India that crosses into Pakistan as well, because that's Punjab, trying to give that to just Sikhs is so difficult. And it's not going to be able to be easily done. So I think it's an impossible task, and I don't know if it will ever be achieved. And when I start asking those questions, people will then look at me and say, "You're anti this." I'm like, "No, I'm not. I'm trying to actually sit down and say, can this realistically occur, or is this just a pipe dream?"
I think the caliber of person we would find, I think you're maybe suggesting maybe in the comments that might be the pushback. That's fine. They have their opinion. But the intention in your mind is not to be negative. Your intention is to, see if it's realistic. And beyond, I'd say, logistics and schematics, which is obviously important, and that's where your geography comes in. It's, who runs this? Like, who's the supreme leader, as it were? Like,
and if people say it should be the Akal Takht, I don't know what their political allegiances are. How good are they at negotiating trade deals with other countries? Like, how does that work? So
that's
I just want to make sure that it's done correctly and with the right people in charge.
Beyond that, you need strong economic power. That's very important. If you want to be prosperous as a state, if you want to compare this to, I don't know, Jewish people, who have Israel and they've prospered. Like, it's not an easy thing you're asking for in terms of the running of it, is what I'm saying. One is obviously, and if you look back to where that comes from, like a lot of people say, "Oh, Khalistan." Even I think the reason we need to have this conversation in depth is because actually your kind of average Sikh, if you mention the word Khalistan, so Sikh to Sikh, right? They think you're extremist for saying it. They associate the word Khalistan extremist. And that
I think is harsh.
Ignorance. No, forget harsh. That's ignorance. Because if you ask them, or maybe you give them like what happened in 1947 when India was divided, and there was this talk about a Sikh separate state, and had that happen at that point, would you still call it extreme? And they were promised this, but then it didn't happen. And then you start talking about Anandpur Sahib Resolution 1975, and actually what were Sikhs asking for at that point was more economic control and power so they could prosper. So it's a very nuanced conversation, and people just have now, and maybe that's due to very good marketing and branding on the other side.
I think it's intentional, man. It goes back to the PKE thing you said earlier.
This equals this.
And it's like when I spoke to Harvey in person, and I said, "What do you think of somebody who calls you a PKE, etc.?" He said, "Reject it immediately and say, I don't want to engage in this conversation any further, and don't let them speak to you, because that name shouldn't stick. You should never be called that. And if you take the word Khalistan out of it and just say a Sikh homeland, that sounds a lot softer now, doesn't it? That sounds a lot more palatable, right? Yeah. So when did this whole thing happen where it's like, "Oh, you're Khalistani"? I'm like, well, not really. I just want my own home state for Sikhs. That's it. And we were promised it and it wasn't given to us. So that's not necessarily a bad thing to ask for. If you're asking for stuff that was owed to you, what's wrong with that?
And it seems like, again, getting someone Satnam level historian on would be good for this. That initial period, I want to know that 1947 has happened now. Let's say the first 5 years, it sounds like there was momentum and discussion around it, and there were people in the know.
There was, right? And then even in his book, he wrote about it briefly. Okay. But I don't think he went into it any further because it was outside the realms of, it was outside the realms of colonialism.
Yeah, which is
more partition.
So why did it fizzle is the question, right? And then you don't have leaders, and then obviously if you look within the kind of Sikh population, we have a lot of different Jathabandi. So
what does that mean exactly?
Jathabandi, so like factions, right? So you have like your Akali Dals, you got your AKJ, Khand Kitni Jathe, you have Damni Taksalalis, you have people who practice Nahang, you have people who practice Sikhi in slightly different ways. So again, if you're going to say this is the state now, then you need, maybe you form like a council, like a council which has representatives from all of them. Like, how do you form government? Maybe, it's got to be, one is obviously getting it accepted. And then I think from India's perspective, right? And then I'm like, well, why would India be so threatened by Sikhs having their own state. And so this is one of the articles I was looking into as well. What's their... And I think part of it is India may think they then sets a precedent because there are other states outside Punjab who actually want to operate in their own, kind of similar to, I think at the moment, maybe they're not asking for, like in America, you have America, United States of America, but each state has their own kind of federal laws, how they can govern
but the
slightly
way America
differently.
Governs is really complicated. It's not
it is
straightforward at all.
But they're trying to make the analogy where, okay, if we're not going to get separatists, like some of the other places in India, they're like, well, we want to be able to govern more locally with more autonomy rather than this kind of central government, shitting on us. Now, your other point, which was, should we have opinions on things that happen outside of the UK, for example? And I remember when we did the Cloud podcast, when we touched upon
Punjab and stuff.
And bins, isn't it? We were talking about people in the bins, right? And they should they be more, what's the word? Aspirational about wanting to do better in life. And then we got to the point where, well, who are we to tell them what to do?
There and talk about it. Yeah.
Absolutely. And I think in the same way, because I did find a video this morning, and I'm sad I didn't save it, but it was somebody who has made a video in response to this. And he's basically saying, look, it's not about Hindu and it's not about Sikh, right? He said, if you guys want to talk about things that relate to people in India, then us do the talking. Don't sit in Canada, you go there. Why do you go there? You go there because you want to make better money, you want to party, you want to do X, Y, Z, but then you want to complain about stuff that happens in India. If you want to come and serve India, come and serve India. Otherwise, just don't talk about this stuff. Okay. And I guess that's the other question I'd want to ask the guest that comes on. Because this Khalistan referendum, I've seen it in the UK and I've seen Canadian voices. I don't ask this person. So the guys in Punjab, are they asking for this? Is that what they want? Because I don't know the answer.
And that again is subjective, isn't it? So it depends who you talk to, and how do you get a poll done on something like that? A bit like how if you look now and say in the UK, if you poll, which they do about Brexit, and they say, "Is it good? Do you want to rejoin?" You can get a definitive number. Yeah, that's a fair way of doing it. I don't know if something like that is even possible in the way things are structured in India. Yeah. But going back to your topic, which is, should we have an opinion on these things? Yeah, we damn right should, because at the end of the day, it affects our community and our people. And if our community and our people are having this kind of activity happen to them, or these attacks happen to them, ain't that far away from happening here in England, which is on our doorstep. So you call it out early to stop it in another place to make sure it doesn't happen here. If we ever take that opinion of we shouldn't have a conversation about what happens there, then you can't talk about American politics. You can't talk about Israel, Palestine. And if you talk about stuff over here, you're told you're not British enough to talk about it over here. So where do your realms of speech begin and end? And that's up to everybody else to make their decision. If they want to say, I don't want to have an opinion on such a thing, that's cool, man.
Exactly.
But if I have an opinion on it and I feel like it's fair and airtight and I think it's worth saying, I'm going to say it. That's how I view it. And I always want what's best for our people and what's best for tensions to be relieved, for people to stop being put against one another on a religious ground.
I think you want what's best for all people. Our people,
genuinely, that is all I want. People. And I just want things to be split. I just want things to be fair for all people. And if you promise something to us at the beginning of something that's not been delivered, then we're going to keep going back to that and talking about it because we have a right to. It's not made out of nothing. We're not being selfish. We're not asking for the world. We're just asking, well, what was meant to be given to us. Apologies. Yeah, that's it.
Yeah, I think that. So there's a promise of what happened and didn't happen, then gets compounded by 1984 level of event, which is in a hospital we call it a never event, right? You can't fathom something like that happening. Like what is the comparative to that? It's Makkah. Imagine Makkah being attacked.
Yeah.
Like you just can't comprehend all the Vatican City.
Yeah.
Or something. It's just so those two things together, and then people just start to feel, well, this shouldn't happen.
It's complex, but I feel like me and you have a platform and we should talk about it and try and explain to people how these
nuance of the conversation
issues happen. But also
and what is
trying to give them a breakdown on paper, exactly like one source where they could just listen to and have it told to them without any bias. I'm very clear about the sources I've used to get this information. And I'm very open to people criticizing, saying, you've only used a Sikh source. Fine, I have. That's cool, but it's the only place I could find. in my realm and my zeitgeist that could tell me a breakdown information of exactly what happened in a sequence of events. And it's with videos. And it's with proof.
That's very important. And the advice I give people, because of how fast the world moves now and the clips that you see, is when you see something, establish timeline, which is what Indy's now done. Where did it start?
But that took me 2 hours, bro.
Like, We
had to push this pod by an hour and a half because I got into it and started looking at it.
You're in the flow. And so then that earlier point you made is fine to have an opinion on things, but have an opinion if you've looked into something. Don't have an opinion based on, small snippets of information. A lot of this, all of this stuff, most of life is nuanced, and you have to understand. I try and get a deeper appreciation of context before you have these conversations.
But even that video of the guy saying that, I don't think that needs context. If you see that on paper,
you can see that and say it's wrong. Fine.
Yeah.
But no smoke without fire, right? So I'd want to know, he hasn't woken up that morning.
What incited him to get to that level?
Right. He's not woken up and gone out his street and just started shouting it. Like, there's clearly something's happened. I'm not saying
apparently he has done this wrong.
Has he? Okay, I'm sure that will come out.
So if you type his name into Twitter, he's done stuff with a microphone on the street saying stuff in the past. So
anti-Sikh or just anti-other things?
I didn't listen to it. I didn't have time. But I saw, when I typed his name into Twitter, that he's done videos like this in the past of him like being on the street saying stuff. Okay. I didn't have time to listen to it because I was trying to find the video that I needed for the purpose of this episode.
So if we just pivot slightly to, the kind of viral interview between Don Lemon and Elon Musk, and he's talking about what's your response. You've seen it? All these clips keep coming out.
I've never watched it. No, I haven't watched it.
Have you seen the little clips that come out?
No.
People keep roasting Lemon. Okay. So there's a bit on there where he's basically talking about, okay, you own Twitter now, right? X. And where's the line between free speech and you having responsibility as a platform? And then Musk goes back, so you want censorship. He's like, no, I want responsibility. He's like, no, you want censorship. So, and what do you think that line is? And the reason I bring this up is because, again, Rogan and I think Musk were talking about it, which was recently in the UK, all these riots and things are happening. People have now been arrested for social media posts. And Musk was saying, well, I don't know how much he looked into it, but he was saying, if you post something inciting violence, but it doesn't lead to anybody taking action, is that still a criminal offense? Or does that fall within freedom of speech? So, what is freedom of speech, and does it mean anything? And who decides what the line is?
I don't know. And this is something I think needs to be explored properly in depth. But those people that were arrested threatened to burn down a mosque as an example of a person who did it. That's why they were arrested, because, again, that's a cause inciting violence. And similar to this guy saying it on the street, what's the difference saying it with a fat microphone or saying it online?
Correct. Yeah,
exactly. Correct. So, and for the guy who's the head of X to say, what's the limit? Motherfucker, you set the limit. You're the platform. You tell me what the limit is.
No, that's what
you write
saying.
It and come to me and tell me.
Musk is saying there is no limit. He's saying anything. A limit is censorship, is what he's saying.
Okay, but if you have that, then where hate riots like this occur, what's the limit there then?
So then what he said in response to Don Lemon, he said, it's a double-edged sword. He goes, if I don't put rules in, so he was talking about himself. He goes, if I put something out and it's misinformation, he goes, bang, 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 bang. It gets taken apart. People analyze it and they come in and then the opinion just changes. So what he's saying is if stuff like this comes out, it's for the world to say, no, this is wrong. It's not for us as a platform to say it's wrong. You tell us why it's wrong, or you accept it or you don't accept it. That's what he's saying.
Okay. The problem with that is he himself has retweeted misinformation numerous times about stuff that happened here in the UK. And he'll undo it and won't say anything. But by that point, the damage is done. How many times have you looked at a tweet on Twitter? It says 29 million views. Yeah. You click on it and you go beneath. You look at the stats of the tweets underneath. They're a fraction of the views of what the main tweets are above, because people look at it and flick through. They don't click into it and look down and look at community note, etc. It's very rare that people will do that. So people need to understand that, he needs to understand himself that there's a mad amount of responsibility that he does with that. And by having this Wild Wild West kind of approach, you can do it, but you've also damaged your platform's integrity and your platform's reputability, where all advertisers have pulled out and people aren't messing with your platform, and it's still down by an absolutely ungodly amount ever since it went public after Elon bought it.
Because he doesn't care. It's not about the money, is it?
Yeah, he said, fuck you, and that's great. And that's cool for you. But in terms of your platform having a reputation and having credibility, that's plummeted quite significantly now. And if that's your MO, that's fine. And maybe we shouldn't get our information from Twitter. But because of the long-standing evolution it had, and people have built up following on there, even journalists today are having a real conversation saying, should we get off Twitter? But then a lot of them are saying, well, we've built up a lot of time on this up until now, and we've got a following, and we've got our way of reaching people. So no, we can't abandon the platform and go somewhere else. So they're kind of stuck as well. So like I said, it's a very difficult situation.
Very slippy.
And now that Trump has won, his rules and regulations are likely going to be completely wiped out, and he'll be able to do much more. And that's good for him. And that's good for social media platforms, which a lot of them were going to face a lot of repercussions under a different government. I think the online safety bill over here has been watered down numerous times. And that's something that we've spoken to Keelan about as well from Sweet Bobby. So it's all these things where the bigger companies are starting to circumvent all these potential regulations that maybe should be weighed on them for having responsibility on election sway or speech and stuff like that. Because speech that incites violence in this way is bad.
Yeah, it is what you'd think, right? And there's I can't see any other way. Big topic, man.
If it happens, bro. If it doesn't, it doesn't, and it is what it is, and we'll all move on. But at least we've got this one logged in the logbooks. If something does happen in the future, we can point back and say, we covered it. Has anything changed, really? It was just another different scenario that occurred that caused more violence or whatever. And tensions are still high in Canada for the Sikh community. I actually, naively, I thought the UK was the highest for Sikhs out of India. It's not. It is Canada. I remember, I think it was you who showed me.
Because I looked at the stat.
You showed me this recently.
Because our migration to the UK is obviously historically, it precedes Canada by a lot. Like when I think about when does Sikhs start moving to Canada, I think it's still in the recent past, right? Whereas I think us coming to the UK is like 60s, 70s, like it's a while away in my head. So I'm like, well, if it's been more recent, but then the rate of influx to Canada, obviously Canada's a much bigger country, must be massive. I think you could do a quick Google on it, but I think UK Sikh population is about 500,000. And I want to say...
Should I just Google it now? Hang on, wait there one sec.
Let me see if I get it right though. I think the order is Canada, America, UK for Sikhs outside India. I think UK is 500,000. I think US is about 750. And I think Canada's still under 1 million, but more than 750. I think something like that.
Okay. I kind of want it in a bulletproof list. A bulleted list.
Bulletproof. You're getting scared, man. Man's shooking it.
Bulletproof list. I wanted it in a bulleted list, but it's not giving me that. I don't trust Wikipedia.
Right. Okay.
Statista. Let's look at these guys. Right. This is the stats website.
Okay.
Ooh, this is different. I don't know if I trust this either because it says the UK is the biggest here.
Yeah, it's definitely not.
So it's like,
what is true?
What's true and what's not?
Right.
Let me look at the AI on Google. It keeps pointing me to Wikipedia. Wikipedia is not the answer.
Wiki, that's the Wiki.
I'm going to have to use Wikipedia, aren't I? This sucks. Okay, here we go, people, right? By country. Oh, it's not even done in chronological. Give me the chronological order. Come on, man.
All right,
here we go. Number 1,
Canada.
India, 20.8 million Sikhs. Number 2, 771 Sikhs in Canada. Number 3, 524,000 Sikhs in the UK. Number 5, 280 in the US. Number 6, Italy, 220. Surprising. Australia, 210,000. And then it's Malaysia, Thailand, New Zealand. The numbers start getting really small.
Okay.
There you go.
So what was the Canadian number again?
So Canada number I've got is 771,000.
Yeah, okay.
This is from the census data of 2021.
There you go. That's also what's represented on ChatGPT, that number.
Yeah, and that GPT article is probably this on
maybe.
Wikipedia.
Maybe. Yeah, so that is a lot of people, man.
Yeah.
The other thing which I've wanted to, again, ask someone who's not going to get angered or inflamed by the question. When you look at some of Katappa's videos, right? And he does like the walk-arounds of some of the malls in Canada. And you're like, it looks more India than India.
I mean, yeah, okay.
Okay, right. So follow me. So then I'm like, and then you look at the equivalent in the UK. I'm like, the Sikh population comes to the UK, to my mind, apart from isolated kind of like Soho Road and obviously certain parts of London, like shopping places, it's not like we try and make it like India. So I think if you're moving to Canada, do you move there but want to live like you're still in India? Like why would you not move somewhere and then try and live like the place you're moving to?
See, now this is where I'm at the limit of my understanding of Canada's nuance. I don't know. Maybe they got more space, way more space than over here.
Well,
we're fucking tiny. Also over here,
that's a fact.
There's pockets of us. But if I was to take a video camera, if I was to take a video up and down on Smethwick High Street, on Soho Road, and if I go to Gravesend, you would think, oh my God, this is just purely dominated by Sikhs. They're taking over the UK. We're not. It's just those little spaces. And I'm sure Katappa goes to places where he films and it's dominated by just Sikh people in that area.
Okay.
That's what I would assume it is.
But looks bigger because you're right. It is a much geographically bigger place. Because I think I showed you if there was a photo of like a train station, and and there's loads like Punjabi people, and then they'd said, "Where is this in the world?" And it wasn't India. It was somewhere. No, it's Canada. It's somewhere in Canada. But I was just like, "Whoa!" And people like in the video, you had people crossing the line, just walking across the line. Like you never see them on the UK doing that.
Is that real? I'm skeptical now. People crossing the line, that can't be okay.
We can't. It's a video, right? So you're right. Then your question is about credibility. But assume it's a credible video. I'm like, okay. And that's something I'd want to ask. I was like, does the population want to set up brand but just in Canada? Like, is that the goal? What is the goal when you move to, say, Canada? I don't know what the Australian equivalent is. I've got some family in Australia. I could ask them what Sikh's like in Australia. And we're not going to go to that word of integration.
You wanted to say it?
No, I didn't know. I knew you thought that's how I was going. No. But this idea of like the way you and I live, right? I'd say that's more mainstream for the UK.
I think we're lucky to look at things from a UK perspective because in the UK, more people are on top of each other. I feel like it's easier in a place in Canada where there's so much space. Like Surrey is purely dominated by Desies, yeah? And Surrey is pretty big in size. So if you've got that much space covering that much area and people are spread out so far, you would think you're just surrounded by them. Yeah. But if you go to Adam Rock, Stratford, you'll think you're surrounded by Muslims. Sorry, you would. Stratford Road, you would think you're surrounded by... Yeah, you would think you're surrounded by Muslims. You're not. You're just in the pocket of place where all their shops are. So it just depends on how you see things.
I'd want to understand from a government perspective as well. So if we look at just Sikh people, there must be other people migrating to Canada as well. But if you're the government and you had like very little Sikhs, now you got this many Sikhs, like what was your strategy? Like what's your thinking? Is it like to fill jobs? Is it because you need like historically truck drivers, right? Because you have lots of trucking businesses in Canada and lots of people are killing it in that way. Like what was the thinking there about we need to get more people in? What was Canada pre this whole migration? I think we need to do?
I think we need to approach the two MPs in Canada, Gurdwaras Singh and the main man himself, Jagmeet Singh. They're the two that we need to have on and ask them, tell us about life before Sikhs descended on Canada and tell us what it's like now. Genuinely be honest with us.
Do you know, that's a good
probably
question
the easiest thing. I don't know if we're big enough to get them, but if anybody's got any connections, please tell us and we'll happily explore, because that would be amazing to talk to those guys and understand the nuance of Canada compared to over here.
Yeah. That's a fair point. Again, we're in the UK. We see certain bits, and you're right. We always see certain bits, certain videos, certain angles.
And they can ask us questions about the UK, and we're like, there ain't that many of us here really in a tight space like Surrey. It just isn't.
I'm thinking back to when, do you remember the I Pledge Orange protest was happening?
The Rajona, yeah.
Yeah, and again, outside consular offices, lots of protests. were happening. But I don't remember from memory there weren't that many counter protests like what we've just seen and what you showed me in the video. It's kind of more accepted, like this, but maybe they think these guys are going to protest, but it'll fizzle. Like these protests don't lead anywhere.
Maybe the opposite is now. We actually have more political sway than what people think, and now they're taking us a bit more seriously.
That could also be it as well. Yeah,
that could be a fair thing because there's way more MPs. There's way more Sikh MPs now in Parliament here in the UK and in Canada than ever before. So they are technically becoming more and more in the mainstream and more important. So maybe now it's like, okay, before you get any bigger, maybe it might be some time to have some bad agents put in place.
Scary times, man.
We'll keep flying the flag where we can, people. But anybody's got any recommendations of guests to have on from number one, the Khalistan view, number two, the Canada point of view? Drop us a DM, maybe comment below in YouTube, and let us know, man. We'll happily go and explore.
Yes, that would be really good.
Let's change the tone a little bit and jump onto Goran's favourite segment where he moans about his wife. Okay.
It's not. Bit of a shiver.
Thank you for shivering. Now give me my jingle.
It's been a while, isn't it? You've not heard this tune in a while. I don't know if I can even sing anymore.
Oh, shut up.
Confessions.
Oh my God, that was horrible.
I know. I'm doing it on purpose, but it's funny. I'm doing Indy. Confessions are brown one day.
Sounds about right.
Confessions are brown one day.
Lelo. There you go.
You know I can do it.
Right, go on. You've been away for 3.5 weeks. Where the fuck have you been? Okay. Let's confess that, shall we?
But just to, like a counter confession to that, how many pods have you done in the time that I've been off?
1.
Yeah, 1, exactly. So it's not like we've both been off.
I pushed out 3 others.
Yeah, which are already filmed, which I was part of. Like, I've not been around. Like, just transparency, right? Because you put this fake news out, right? Like, Mag disappeared all year. See, you got to check your sources of information. You got to ask for my side of the story.
Technically, 2 weeks off. Technically. Because you did the Dumbin episode last week. So technically, 2.
So not 3.5. It's 2. Less. I've had less time off. Is that what you're saying?
No.
You just said 3.5.
We omitted a week. You weren't present for the following week's episode that I put out now with Dumbin.
Yeah.
And then in the weeks before that,
so how many weeks in total? That's what I'm saying. First you said 3.5.
So technically, in total, you've missed 3 weeks of pods.
Yeah. Okay.
That's what I said. 3 weeks.
But how many pods have gone out since? Is 1, isn't it? So, yeah, that's the...
Okay. Just because I had a couple in the bank to push through, okay?
Yeah, but the ones in bank I was part of. It's not like those were not me in there.
Correct. Yes.
Yeah,
well done.
Just clarification.
Does this make you feel better? Are you going to sleep okay tonight?
I sleep completely fine. I'm just correcting you. That's all. Where should we begin? So...
Where you been?
I've been busy, man. I've been working. Hospital has been
making
really...
the coin, innit?
Yeah, making the coin in a slightly different way. I did my first Saturday shift at hospital in 8 years. It's been a long time, man. It's been a long time. It's been such a long time. I was in the handover. This is where the night team and the day team like handover stuff. And the consultant was doing like the roll call. And he was like, Jazz, you here Saturday? Like, are you feeling well? It's like
everything
really
all right at home.
Yeah, it's like you're working to be like away from your child. Like, what is this, man? I was like, yeah. I was like, my appraisal's coming up, so I need to get some extra shifts in. He's like, oh, okay. So that was something, and actually a really nice day. I had you have all these reservations about, you live the good life and you don't do night shifts anymore, don't do weekends, and this is earlier day stuff. And then I did it, and I was like, oh, Saturday, whatever. And it was actually a really nice day. So that happened. That's where I've been. That's why I was so busy. And so you all know I have a certain fear of kutte, dogs. And if you haven't seen the Cloud 9000 video collaboration that we did of Dart on the map.
Dart.
And the thing about that is, Aman Cloud 9000, he was very much aware. I had told him, do not do anything with animals. And so what does he do? He tells the person, make sure there's something to do with animals, right?
Yes.
Because Karen doesn't like it. But what he failed to remember is I will do anything to
Win.
Exactly, Indy. Okay. And so I, foreseeing this would happen, prepared myself and I had my Glavishov. Okay. So go and watch that
I think
clip.
you have that in general because you want to give people a full, rectal examination when the opportunity presents itself.
Right, we're going to pause there. First thing is, Indy, guys, just jump on YouTube because you want to see Indy's hand motion. Show the hand motion for the rectal examination again. Right. I believe the correct term is fisting. Correct me if I'm wrong, right?
I did this. The hand was opening.
Bro. But to get your whole hat in the bund, I don't know how big you think this person's bund is, that you're getting your whole hat in there.
I've never done it before. I just did the hand motion to make you feel uncomfortable. Clearly it worked. Okay.
Does not, no, what? Because you're doing something else, man. I'm like, bro, if you're doing that, I don't know what you're doing, bro. So yeah, in it 20. If you haven't seen that clip, please go and watch it. Now, one of the people that did watch it and found it really funny was our mutual friend. Now, I say that begrudgingly. Mutual friend.
Stop hating, okay? Just because I stole your friend, all right?
We've discussed this, and actually
we've discussed this many a time.
There's going to be an instance coming up where we're actually going to all be together, aren't we?
Yeah, we are. Yeah.
Don't worry, I've got something planned for that as well.
Let's go for it.
You don't worry. It's going to trigger both of you as well. Yeah, don't worry.
Let's go.
So Roda, he's the infamous person we're speaking about here, has got a dog. So shout out to Leo.
Because shout out to Leo, shout out to him. I don't think the dog is going to be able to listen and be like, "Oh, thank you for the shout out on the pop when it sees you next."
Shout out to Leo.
You idiot.
Shout out to Leo. Not giving it to Roda. And so we went over to theirs, and part of the reason going, well, one was obviously a catch up, but I was like, okay, Ekkam's here now. I need to get over this fear of dogs, right? And so within medicine, there is this very well prescribed thing, which is can't remember the name now, but it's graded
Let's
desensitization.
just call it gradual exposure therapy.
Yeah, or desensitization. Yeah, exactly. So, and dogs are loud, man. Dogs are really loud, and they kept trying to calm me. Suraj and Raj, they were like, "Yeah, he's just really excited." I was like, "That is not an excited noise. That's
just
like
being friendly." You know what I've got in my head? You talking
clip.
about the dog in the past?
Yeah. Oh yeah, I did that clip. Yeah. It's just I just want to say hello. Yeah. I remember that clip now. And but the longer we were in the house, the dog just kind of settled, and then, but at some point, dogs go to sleep and they have bedtime and that kind of stuff. And so Suraj,
they fart, man. They proper fart.
Okay, I didn't know about that. He didn't fart that time I was there. Suraj is really good at keeping me accountable. Suraj is Raj's missus, and she was like, "Come on, he's going to go to sleep soon. You need to stroke him. Come on, you're going to stroke him." Yeah, and so and Ekkam had already been near Leo, and she was fine. And I was like, right, okay, so this has to be done. So again, got my gloves out. Now this time, why'd you get this.
Okay, why the need for the glove?
The glove. Yeah,
what do you think the glove is going to do here?
So part of my anxiety is my hand touching something which isn't skin. Like that does something to me. Like I'm just like, oh, like it's not.
Which isn't skin. You touch your beard all the time. That isn't skin.
That's me, isn't it? No, as in, but non-human.
It's not skin.
Non-human.
You touch materials. That's non-human.
They're not alive. They don't move. They don't have a heartbeat. That for me, that texture is like I can't. That's how I can best describe it.
So when you touch fur that was alive once upon a time, that's not the same thing.
No, exactly. It's dead. But you're right. But it's an animal. It can move. It's doing things. So Raj is holding him from here, and then Shira had him like in a bit of like a semi-headlock because he was doing all this.
Which I'm sure made the dog really happy.
Semi-headlock. It wasn't like a full headlock. Like she was just playing with him.
Bullshit.
And I got a video. I'll show you the video. And
got the dog at a full Nelson, yeah? Fucking legs behind his head.
Come on. I think he's right. Come on. I think he's restrained. And but what I did is a big move, right? I did one glove, one non-glove. Okay.
Oh, what?
I did a few strokes on the glove, and then I was like, right, gonna do it now. First time in my life after many
I'm gonna touch a dog raw.
You're making this dirty again, man. And
you're the one wearing a glove. If you weren't wearing a glove, I wouldn't say it like this.
Yeah. But there's a reason, man. I'm not trying to do a bond examination of Gutta, man. And
did the glove have latex?
No, it's latex free.
Latex free. Okay.
Yeah, medical grade, isn't it? Medical grade gloves. Medical grade gloves. Yeah,
Got it. Yeah.
So then I'm stroking the dog. I'm like, this isn't that bad. Like, heart is still. So I think as a first contact, I thought that was very good. And now we need to build up that momentum now. So I need to plan another visit.
Now you need to go for a walk with it.
Walk or more stroke time, or
if you go for a walk with the dog, it won't be attentive to you, but attentive to everything else around it.
Yeah, I said that because I'm on the other side of the table.
Exactly.
Yeah, I said that twice. Yeah.
It's like how you said, "Oh, I'm going to approach the dog from the back." It's like, no, it's not going to work. The dog needs to see you to feel safe.
Yeah. But you understand what I was trying to say.
No, I don't. It made it sound really dodgy the way you were saying it.
But it's not. I'm not some sort of dog predator, man. It's not. I
don't know, man. This is how they all are. You know, dog predators. What's the number one rule a dog predator would say? I am not a dog predator. Well,
right. That's okay. All right, Indy. Just take my word for it. The fact I'm scared.
Just take my word for it. Second thing
I am not a dog predator. Again, the not wanting to come from the front is because they're just so excitable. And even when Leo saw Shindy, he's like got up on his legs and he was like trying to get near her face. And I was like, whoa, like that's too much for me, man. Like I need like a sedated dog that just lies there.
So what you want is a castrated dog, basically.
Old dog, maybe
castrated old dog. Yeah. That's what you want. Which is really sad because when dogs have that happen, it's not fun for them.
Yeah.
They're just not the same animal.
So I need to build up my tolerance. So, yeah. So that was that. That was one big thing I've done in the last month. What else has been happening in David? Ekkam is about to turn 1. I don't know where the time has gone. As we film this podcast, 9th of November, this time last year, we were on the phone to you and Sanj in the car on the way to Cucina Rustica Italian restaurant to have dinner. And you guys told us, obviously
lived in the flat.
You were in the flat. I don't know if you were going somewhere at the time. I remember we had a good conversation, then we parked up. And then we're at the table. Shindy's having contractions at the table. And the thing she remembers most above everything is, because she was having contractions, she wasn't that hungry. She packed her 4-cheese gnocchi.
I was about to say the fucking 4-cheese gnocchi.
You remember, right? Oh, God, yeah, you know about this, right? So then the next day she goes into labor. That 4-cheese gnocchi gets binned at some point because it's not been eaten. And all she can think is, I didn't get my 4-cheese gnocchi. And then the whole past year has been this kind of revenge tour of trying to get 4-cheese gnocchi.
4-cheese gnocchi is overrated as hell, by the way.
Do you know why she loves it so much? It's because pre-marriage, we had this trip to Disneyland and Paris in general in 2015 with Shindy's birthday. We found this restaurant, random, wasn't booked, near the Eiffel Tower, 4-cheese gnocchi. The best 4-cheese gnocchi she's ever had. Right. And then
if you're going to do that, you're going to be chasing that dragon. That's not good.
You speak to your friend.
It's like the first time you had something of anything, you know? Been over this. When was the first time you had your first Diet Coke? Do you remember how that tastes? No, you do not. And now you will forever no longer have that same satisfaction when you go after and have a Diet Coke. Who am I talking like right here? Dr. Jiskara Mavi.
But are you your truest, highest, authentic self?
Are you your truest, highest, authentic self?
That's the question.
Life is not meant to be like this.
It's true. You know what's interesting about that? I was reflecting... Might as well talk about this now. I was reflecting on the stuff I used to talk about. It's not that I don't think that stuff anymore. It's just I've internalized a lot of it and I write it down more than I say it.
Okay.
For example, writing Ekkam's birthday card, it's quite surreal because it's like, you're not going to read this obviously on your birthday. You probably won't have the understanding to comprehend this until you're much, much, much older.
You know what you should do, Gar?
Go.
And blow your mind, yeah?
Record a video.
Create an email account for her.
I've done that already.
Yeah, then just use that. Save your digital footprint.
No, but the physical cards are nice because physical touch, this is my handwriting. My dad wrote this in this.
Yeah, but you could take a picture of the card and load it up.
I've done that already. It's on the Google Drive. That's done.
Sorted then. You got nothing to worry about.
Yeah. No. It's not about storage. That wasn't my point. My point is the lead time here for you being like, wow, Dad said this 21 years ago. Because I put some advice in, like, the one was like how our journey's been as a parent this first year. But the other point is like some life points. Like, this is what I think about life at the moment. At this point in my life, like, here are some things that I live by. That isn't there about living authentically, but it's more nuanced now. Like, what does it actually mean? Like that term, right? I think you'd enjoy it, actually. I'll show it to you when I see you.
Okay.
10, 11 points. But that was interesting because then I thought about, have you seen Kuch Kuch Hota?
Many years ago.
But there's this thing about, obviously, Rani Mukherjee passed away, and each year on her birthday, she gets a letter from her mom that she'd written.
Yeah. Great.
So it's sort of like that, this idea that actually I'm building this stuff for Ekkam, this, bank of wisdom, stuff that I've learned in my life, my experience, stuff from my parents as well. That was something, man. That was something. So that was one side. But the other side of what life has been now with the year, I don't know where the year's gone.
You do know where it's gone. 50 episodes have passed since. You know where it's gone.
And you know what's interesting? I think, so my little hiatus recently, I said to you when we were talking about why that had happened, that's probably been the hardest point. Whereas actually when Ekkam originally came along and in that initial period, everything was like, we were smacking the podcast, like everything was fine. It was all good. It's now that she's a bit more demanding.
Now that she is walking soon, yeah.
Nearly walking, yeah. So these are other challenges. So coming on to how do we celebrate the birthday?
So how do you celebrate a kid's first birthday?
Yeah, and kids don't have an appreciation it's my birthday, do they? I've come from a birthday party today. That's where I was when I rang you, or you rang me.
That's right, I rang you. Yeah.
Radio science. You want to clarify?
Yeah, I do. Yeah.
Sorry, because I didn't ring you. Is that what you're trying to say?
No, because you didn't respond to my message, and I was like, "Is he showing up? Like, what's going on?"
Oh, I see. Yeah,
that's why I was like,
yeah.
We're going to talk about this today. You going to reply? Any danger? No.
Sorry.
1 o'clock. Yeah. I was like, hello.
Oh, okay. Oh, I see your angle now. Yeah, blind spot. Indy rang me to check I was still part of the podcast, and hadn't just jumped on a plane and just, wow, what would happen if I disappeared?
I'll replace you, and it'd be fine.
No, not podcast, but I genuinely disappeared, like sequence. No one knows where I am. Say I've gone somewhere. What do you do?
Looks like I'm going to have to speak to Shindy about your last footsteps and start doing a full, what's that film, Gone Girl thing, Got to go through retracing footsteps, make sure to see where you are.
How long would you stay invested?
Yeah, a long time. Long time.
You reckon? You want answers? Closure?
Listen, you know me. The loop is open now. Right? The mental loop is open. That needs closing.
And then imagine you find me one day. I'm like, you're right.
Imagine I find you one day and it all happened because you like have amnesia or something and you forgot.
Yeah.
I was like, great.
Who are you?
Great. Who are you? Imagine you have to relearn how to speak at a harbouring accent. Who are you? You what?
I said to Shindy, that would be bad. I said to Shindy, you should ask this question to Sanj, which is like, again, you have this condition and then your partner, so Sanj has to convince you that you got like who you are and we're deeply in love and I'm your like whatever.
She wouldn't try and convince me that I'm deeply in love with her. She'll be like,
or the other way or whatever. Yeah. But that I was like, that'd be quite a task.
She would say to me, we were together once upon a time.
Right.
Subteach made that happen.
That's what Sanj would say.
Or she would like take me through this journey down memory lane of all the stuff we've done up until date. I was like, I've done a lot in the past, that I don't remember. All right, sweet. But it's great though, because you get to remake all those cool memories. She can take me to all of her favorite places again. And it'll be like brand new for me, but she gets to have a nice experience again.
Yeah, unless you don't like it. Imagine you're just like a different person.
Hang on. I might not have liked it because of past experiences. They're not there anymore.
So it's right that you don't like it then? No, I'm saying...
If I don't like it a second time, then it really is on the place. Okay? It's not on me at that point. I have no bias, okay? My memory's wiped. All right?
Okay. So yeah, with Ekkam's birthday, so we're gonna go Gurdwara. We may at some point meet up with our midwife. Just nice for her to see how Ekkam is 1 year on, because she was quite instrumental. And then we'll probably do like a day trip. That's probably what we're going to do. And then at some point we're doing like a small kind of family gathering.
Very good.
But I know like, a lot of people, not a lot of people, some people, there's a couple of strands. There's religious strand, Sukhmani Sahib kind of part.
But you had the Sukhmani Sahib when she was born.
Yeah, I'm just explaining. So exactly, that was our thing. We wanted to do.
And if you had it again this year, to be fair, if you gave me a bingo card of things you would have done this year, I would have definitely put money on you having another bot.
For her birthday?
Yeah.
Okay, so that's one option. Then there's like home event, friends, no friends, or whatever, like whatever scale you want to do that on. And then there's like hall party, like full scale, suited, booted, dinner and dance level, DJ setup.
Listen, some of those hall parties, and we have friends of ours that have done this, where they brought their kid out and they put them in like a car.
And then
they use a remote control car to get them in. And I thought, bro, even I messaged our friend and I said, that was excessive. And he said, yeah, I know. So he knows he's doing it.
Yeah. No. And that's fine. There's no judgment here. Like if that's your thing, that's your thing. But I kind of view, maybe, I don't know if this is right, but it's right for us. Like my birthday, I'm a very private person. I do not like shosha. What are you rolling your eyes?
Because it's so much fun having a friend like this. Yeah.
No, but when I say private, like for example,
that's why I roll my eyes. I'm like, oh God, make it so difficult to celebrate you. God, how selfish.
As in, say if you said to me, right, it's your birthday. Actually, we did this. We went to Italy as a delayed birthday trip for me. Remember?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that I don't mind. It's two of my best friends. Let's go. Let's do some. That's still private enough for me. I don't have to be completely private. I'm just saying that's okay. The focus is beyond like kind of one day. And so the same with the Ekkam. Like my philosophy is going to be when at the point she has an understanding of what's happening. I think birthday parties will definitely be a thing with her, with family or with school friends. That's one thing. But outside of that, it's going to be, how do you want to celebrate your birthday? How do you want to spend it? What do you want to do? That's one thing. And then the other thing I think we've spoken about before, which is about presents, right? What do you do about presents? If you want to instill a generation which is not, I want things, and it's more about experiences, then you have to be very intentional about that experience thing. Again, at 1 year old, it's very hard to ask Ekkam what she wants to do. But when she starts having comprehension of that, that's the question to be asking. How would you like to spend your birthday? Not what do you want to your birthday? Two different questions.
I can't wait until she starts dressing up as Elsa like every birthday. It will happen.
You think my daughter's going to be a princess?
Listen,
I think she has more. No, she definitely has the vibes. I think she's more Moana vibes. Yeah.
Got it.
Yeah.
Every kid gets Disney indoctrinated. Okay.
Oh, it's gonna happen. Absolutely. No, I'm not saying it's not about Disney. It's about which character in Disney. She's got more at the moment. Pocahontas, Moana vibes.
Fair. I'm just talking about Frozen because it's
Disney.
A global franchise that's worked very well.
I don't got an issue with that, man. Apparently, I learned recently we're doing a cruise next year. There's Disney themed cruises for kids. I was like, wow.
That is not surprising.
Yeah. It's obviously money making, but I was like, oh, that kind of stuff exists. I was with my friend earlier and I was saying about how Florida, Disneyland, Universal Studios, all that kind of stuff. It's like, well, if they're going to go there, they need to be of an age where they can go on the rides and they have appreciation. But I can't wait till she's been, indoctrinated into Harry Potter, loves Harry Potter. It's like, right, now let's go and see the castle because this makes more sense to you. And part of that's our own selfish thing as well. Me and Shindy want to go there. That's big. You guys will probably be on that trip as well. You want to go?
Probably.
Yeah. So yeah, man,
So you didn't feel pressure to do a big party?
No one's asked me.
Is there no conversation with the family saying, we don't want a big party on both sides, your side and your in-law side?
No, like a lot of autonomy. Like you guys celebrate how you see fit. So we said like small intimate gathering. That's it. And there's nothing about like you need to give gold or anything like that either. You need to do this, you need to do this, you need to do this. That's all. That's the whole conversation as well. Like what, certain gifts. Like I remember when I was 21, I was told, you need to wear a golden bracelet.
What, a gold cutter?
No, it's a bracelet. It had my name on it. Just. I'll show it to you. I've never worn it, which is why you've never seen it.
That's very weird.
Yeah. But again, and I don't know.
Who got you the bracelet is the question.
No, it was within the family, but it was like a thing, semi-tradition within the family. Like everyone had, about the Golconda necklace, which I told you about, Jazzy B. Then there was the gold ring. And then this was
They just wanted to get you the matching set.
Clearly, right? But, and I wore it obviously on that day. I can show you some pictures. And now I'm like, yeah, I'd never wear any of that ever again. Like this is the most, like this watch is my gold. This is the equivalent.
I just don't think gold suits me at all. At all.
I completely agree. And not about you. I just mean, but I think it doesn't suit.
I was going to say that fucking hurt, bro.
Yeah. No. that came out wrong. I think for most people, like sometimes I see gold curry. And there's two things that come to my head. First thing is, okay, this is all about nimarta and we're all equal. So why are you flexing gold on the curry? So that's one part of my brain, right? And the other part of my brain is, it does not match the color of your skin. Like, why are you rocking? But even like, there was, back in the day, gold wedding bands, they look horrible, man. I don't know who thinks that they look nice.
It depends, doesn't it? Like I look at my dad's gold ring.
That's his generation, right? They did it.
It suits him. And my mum's got it and it suits her. And I can't see my mum in anything else but gold coloured stuff.
And we're the silver generation, right? Like that's it. Our generation does this now.
Yeah. Ours is the silver gen. But the bit that jars me is when guys wear gold and silver at the same time. I'm like, please stop. Please stop. Just keep it consistent. Keep one colour on you. Please. Listen, I can't do this.
These are commodities investors, okay? They got my gold assets. I got my silver assets.
I can't do this. Like I can't have gold on one hand mixing like a gold gutter with a silver wedding band. Like, please stop. Please.
Do you know what else throws me, right? What throws me is like, I know you spend a lot of time with you, right? And then we'll go to certain events. And certainly, like all this jewelry comes out that I don't see you wear day to day. Like you get this little chain out. Yeah, you get the chain, and you get the ring that goes on.
I got my little chain and my one ring. That's it.
And I'm just like, who's this version of Indy that I've never seen?
Listen, if I could, I would buy a lot of jewelry, but I can't. Okay, because I ain't got the money for it. But yeah, I like it. Okay. I like wearing a little bit of jewelry here and there on special occasions. Not every day. I like doing it on special occasions.
You know, like high level, big name, big black rappers, and they have big chains. You're not talking about that. White t-shirt, big chains. I ain't doing that.
Oh, okay. Mine's like a dinner chain.
And if you could have like more jewelry,
one of the ring. That's it.
Yeah. Well, are you talking Signa rings? Like I like Signa rings, and you've seen me wear them.
No, I'm just on about what like a cool, funky ring. That's it.
Cool, funky ring.
And I need to get all my watches fixed that under my bed that have been needing the battery changed and stuff fixed to them for the last like 6 years, and I keep putting it off. And I tell myself every year, I'm going to get it fixed, but then I just put it off. So I want to rewear all my watches that I've accumulated for the last 10 years.
Are they premium watches or mid-tier?
I've got one for my 21st birthday that means a lot to me from my siblings. I've got...
What brand?
A couple of decent watches. It's just a random brand. Like, it's nothing...
Are we talking really tag level like stuff or no?
No, it isn't that. No.
Okay.
I haven't got... The only watch I've got of that is the one that my father-in-law got me as... My wedding day thing. That's it. And I only wear that on wedding occasions. That's a tag. That's it.
Yeah, okay. So that's your like most formal watch, premium.
But then everything else is just like mid-level, low-level watches that I just liked.
As in you wear them for aesthetics?
Yeah, like a diesel
matching outfits. Yeah. Tika. Fair. I think the older I've become...
But I want to rewear them again. That's what I'm trying to say.
Fair play, man. Fair play. I think my equivalent of all your watches that you have is this one. It's my top tier one, which is my formal swag, and then everything else is my Casio. But I try, and I know you don't like this for obvious reasons, like my t-shirt selection things, is I try and simplify things to, I just want two options of things. I can just switch in, switch out of them. And then I just love simplifying, especially when it comes to casual kapre. There's a whole different conversation with smart kapre, but I don't wear that smart kapre often. So it should really be the opposite.
Yeah, it should.
It should, but it's just I have no interest in the casual stuff. But the more time I spend with you, it's slowly changing.
Slowly getting there.
Yeah, don't worry, we will get some trainers. Only
if you let me choose them. Otherwise, I have no interest in getting trainers.
That's fine. I've found some New Balance, which I think are quite nice.
Oh, for fuck's sake.
New Balance is off? It's off, no?
It's just not where I wanted to take you, you know? Like, sometimes I want to take you to like the premium level, but you want to go mid-level. Okay.
No, there was, fine. There's a trainer that you wore, the picture of you and me at Diljit. You're wearing light blue jeans. What the trainers are you wearing there? They're high tops. With like
Jordan
the tick.
High tops.
But the tick Jordan is like a really, what color is it? The color of the tick is it like really faint?
White.
No. It's like a suede kind of really.
Yeah. They're suede Air Jordan 1s, yeah.
I like those. I saw those and I hadn't seen
tick's
before.
just as big. No, fucking hypocrite.
Listen,
that tick is massive.
It's fine. No, but then I thought about it. Yeah, you're right. I did say about the tick, but when I compare that tick to the stuff, the other ones you wear, like the red ones or the black ones, one that Aman has and Bal has, that's like really, really vibrant, like neon colors. Whereas that one was really subtle. The one I looked at Jutti, I was like, that's a really nice Jutti. That's not shouting as loud. I like that Jutti. I would wear that Jutti. Let me try that Jutti on.
I'm not going to let you try it on.
Not yours.
My foot size
not
is
yours.
3 times the size of yours.
I'm saying we go to Nike and you show me that jutti.
I don't think you can get it at Nike stores, but we can try.
Okay, something similar to that. I liked it. I looked at that. I was like, that's a nice shoe.
Okay, that's fair. Thank you very much.
This has made your day, isn't it?
That has. I'm
it's
so
like
glad that you
finally
finally stepped down from hating on Nike, and now we can be friends. Okay.
And again, it wasn't about Nike. I said to you,
it was about Nike because you didn't like the tick, and I thought, who are you? And you're like, oh, I like Lacoste because the dinosaur's really small. I'm like, bro, grow up, man. Okay.
No, but there are certain Nike shoes which look like kiddie shoes. That was all my point was. It's like when certain people wear it. I don't know if Bal does this, but some people who wear like suits and then they wear like Nike jutte with them.
Correct. Bal does do that, yeah.
Oh, does he do that? Okay, fine. For me, that's weird.
He did it on my wedding day, you tata.
He did do it on your wedding day. You're right. But like smart kapde should have smart juttiyan. There's no male between those two things.
It depends, doesn't it? So some people do it, some people don't. Even businessmen are starting to do like trainers with suits.
Doesn't make it right.
It does work. Right. It works, man.
No,
it works.
Yeah, fine. I'm saying my opinion is there's no male there. And so there are certain shoes, certain Nike shoes for me, which are very like kiddie-like. They look like kiddie trainers. That's all my point was. But the ones you wore there looked elegant. They weren't loud. That's what I liked about them. They weren't loud.
Elegance.
That's part of the card, you know, the bit of advice. The highest form of elegance is?
I don't know. What is the highest form of elegance?
Simplicity.
Okay. All right. Jeez. We'll move on to the next segment now. Jesus.
Wow. You get triggered by old Dr. Jazz.
Damn right I do, man.
Because it's all cliche stuff. I've already saying it 100 times. You muted yourself. You're still muted.
Absolute pre-recorded bakwas bollocks. Okay, that's why.
I mean, I say.
Yeah. That was an old Gurren. You are not that man. You are this Gurren.
I think if I
you are
embody
this
it.
Gurren. Okay, this is the real you.
It is. The difference is...
Thank you.
I don't say it now. I do it. I embody it. That's the difference.
Okay, cool. Thank you. Last seg. So should we tell people what's been happening then the last few weeks?
Well, I've already spoken at length about my hiatus there.
Well, that was confessions, you know. But this is about what we've done. For example, we haven't done a pod since we went to Diljit. Again, second time.
We haven't done a pod since... Oh, you mean following that when we did the debrief?
The second time, yeah.
How does that feel?
No, it's not that. I was going to say that we went a second time. And thank you to everyone that we met there the second time. That's all.
We had some really good conversations actually at Diljit.
We did.
You asked me, didn't you? Yeah, that was a funny conversation. You rang me and said, let's debrief about our fan interactions. And my response to you was 3 words. Wait, one second. Yeah, 3 words.
Did I?
You're like, how's that for you? You and sounds like, Edda. That's the first word.
Edda,
Hona.
Yeah,
you remember you started pissing yourself laughing. I was like, bro, I don't want to do that because you don't get this reception of Birmingham, man. So London was lit. Crowd was amazing. We had some really nice conversations, some super fans that we met.
Yeah.
And just, you know, sometimes what really still surprises me is the types of people you impact with your work. So the 2 examples were, we were at that restaurant afterwards where we were meeting everybody. Like Casablanca. Well, no, it wasn't Casablanca, Coco Bongo. Jovi Siga, that thing starting with C. Yeah, Cabana, that's it. Something like that. That's easy.
I see Mexico.
Have you been to Coco Bongo? It's really good, man.
Yes, I have, bro. It's
You've
great.
Been, yeah? It's great, man. It's great. It's great. So we were there, and then there was that uncle, Sardar, who was like, I don't know, 50 plus 60 or something. And he was saying, you know, I work from home and I just put your pod on and listen to it. And I was like, wow, like you're listening to the pod. And I think as we were entering the escalator to the tube, there was there's 2 people. One was a Singhani lady, and she'd said, you know, I give my 15-year-old son, I give him homework to listen to your podcast.
Yeah. That was really nice.
I was like, that's mad. And then there was a Pakistani lady who was like Pakistani Punjabi, and she was like, yeah, I love what you do. I'm Punjabi as well. And I was like, crossing boundaries, man.
It's good stuff, man.
It's really, really good stuff. So yeah, Diljit was obviously amazing. Watching it with Sanj is an experience in itself.
Right? It's an experience.
The woman I've never seen Sanj wear glasses in the time of known her, but she brings glasses which
so
probably
she can see clearly.
No, she probably has like like enhanced level zoom, so she can look at Diljit's bicep and stuff. Like, and she, I mean, if you ever needed a backup singer, That is her, man.
Ad-libs.
She's ready.
That's it, man.
Yeah, like she goes. There are points where when he was building up to a hick or something, Sanj went to the ground and lifted, like she disappeared. Like
Lifted
from
the
my
hiccup
island.
out of him.
I was like, "Where is Sanj?" And then she was there, just like, and it's as if she had like a mic. And so that was something. I'm glad I just got to see with Sanj, man. That was an experience.
She's entertaining, right?
She's amazing. Yeah, that's something else, man. Like we think we are fans, bro. You saw Steph Curry and LeBron James. I know you're a Kobe fan, but in your head, those two must be like people you wanted to see, right? And we were like, yeah, ooh. We weren't doing
I wasn't that. I was like, oh! That's what I was doing.
To the rebounds. It's all about the rebounds for you, right?
Yeah.
But it wasn't what Sanj did. Like, that's a whole different level, man.
It's true.
So, yeah, the Dilj. So that happened.
That was good, seeing Dilj. In that time, I've been to a few events. So let's go through this in chronological order. Number 1, I went to go see Mo Gilligan. That was good. Mo Gilligan has white people money now.
He's cracked it. Okay.
He's changed. His act is still the same, I think. I think it's largely still his comedy. But I looked around the audience and I said, it doesn't feel as ethnic minority focused. And Sanj said it was not like this when I came a few years ago. It was definitely more ethnic here.
What's your point you're trying to make on that?
She's saying he's broken into the mainstream now so that he doesn't have to rely on the ethnic minorities anymore.
Yeah,
when you're broken into the majority of the country, your life is a lot easier. And I agree with that.
And the point you're trying to make is, okay, here's the question for you. In the same way we serve mainly a Punjabi community at the moment in the audience, or like how Russell Peters has done it, is it wrong to want to progress and become mainstream?
Russell Peters, you got to be careful with, but yeah, go on.
Is it wrong for someone who starts in the kind of like a niche like that to want to progress? No, of
course not. It's just our way of saying that he made it because of the stuff he's done with TV. He's done it in his way, where he's been into mainstream shows that serve Middle England, and it's worked for him. And he's also kept himself to himself, and he's done his comedy and brought his comedy to them. So he's done it in the best way possible, in my opinion. And then I just looked around and thought that the demographic of people that are here is not what I expected to show up. That's all. Maybe that was my naivety. So
you got 2 acts, right? You got Diljit and you got Mo, let's say. Okay. So Diljit is mainstream now, but he's not.
He's mainstream. Diljit into everything we do.
I spend too much time with Sanj, man. But he's mainstream, but with one main audience, which is Punjabi people.
Yes, but he lives in India. That's the difference.
That's true. That is very true.
Right? Mo Gilligan lives in London.
Yeah.
In a predominantly white country. So he's catered to those people and it's worked for him. And he's also brought the black culture and the jokes that he has to those people. So respect to him. It was just a good observation. I was like, Jolly, he's really made it. And I was worried that he was going to change his act to serve everybody, but he didn't. He kept it how it is.
When you make it mainstream and you're from an ethnic background, do you think the ethnic people then think, in the same way we might look at a Punjabi restaurant like, oh, you cater for non-Punjabi people. This isn't the true Punjabi food. You're just trying to do it for whatever. How do you think we view that success? Do we think, as in, were there?
I judge your act.
Why were there less ethnic people there? That's the question.
I judge your act is how I look at that. How I look at things through that lens. I judge your act. So if your act is still about your people, that's good.
But
because you haven't changed over the years. You might have changed a little bit, but you haven't completely changed your core message. So it doesn't feel like you were faking or you sold out.
Why are less ethnic people coming to your show?
Maybe the tickets were bought up by more people at once. It was more competitive, and it was white people that bought the tickets for it.
As you don't think it's that ethnic people don't want to see that show anymore?
No, I don't think it's that at all. No. Also, he sold out Apollo. Apollo's a 3,000 person venue, so that's a lot of people that he has to fill up on. I think it was on a Friday night. So yeah, it's a lot.
Is that where you saw him?
Yeah, Apollo. Yeah.
Nah, we're going to Apollo soon as well. Guys, who are we going to see? Try and work it out in the comments below. It's coming up
wait, me and you. Yeah, we are. Shit, I thought you were on about you and Shindley. I was like, huh? Oh, yeah? Okay.
And Ekkam's going to be where, sorry? Yeah, thanks. Yeah, with you?
I don't
you
know.
guys.
At your sister's house? I don't know.
I'll drop them off with you guys. It's fine.
Sure. Good lad. Yeah, man. So that was good.
So, Mo, yeah.
Good show. Then after that, a couple of weeks later, I saw Tez Ilyas. So we had him on the pod. Super cool, super nice guy. Saw his show. So we had Ishan Akbar open for him. Really good. Yeah, Cake Herd, also second opener. Very good. And then main man Tez himself came on stage. He did some crowd work. Then he went off and filmed his actual full special. So what people will see released out to the world when it's put out there, whether it's on a streamer or if it's on YouTube, etc., that will be the actual stand-up that I saw in Hackney Wick. I saw in Hackney Wick.
Sure.
So that was good, man. Really impressed. Really good. I do want to give a shout out to a family that came to say hi. So Tina, Saminda, and Navjot, they came up to me and Sanj as we were sitting there. Sorry, Navjot. What did I say? What did I say?
Navjot.
Sorry, Navjot.
Don't do this.
Sorry, Budgie. Sorry, Budgie.
I had to go. Side story quickly. Some little kids, right? Little kids from the Gurdwara. And I was like, what are your names? And then they just did the same thing. And I was like, why? You tell off other people.
What did he say?
Do it to yourself. I can't remember their names now. They were saying some stuff. And I was like, no, say your name properly. Don't tell other people say your name properly if you're not going to say it properly.
What I say is, how does your mum say your name?
Yeah, exactly. No,
or your dad?
Actually, no. You're saying it so they've got off at it. It's fine as well.
9 times out of 10, your parents tend to say it in the correct way.
You're thinking that they're old gen but the new gen.
No, I think the new gen as well is the same.
Okay.
So, for example, people will call my nephew Nihal. I'm like, no, it's Nahal. Right? Stuff like that. Yeah?
Yeah, good. And I know you're the same with your name. You tell people to say Indavid at work.
Well, I'm starting that now in a future job I'm moving to. Yeah. I'll be doing that. I'll be taking Indavid instead of Indy because I don't like how I've kind of changed it. Even though on my passport it's my real name. So I want to change it to that.
Wait, slow down, what?
At my current workplace, my name is Indy. On the directory, everything, everywhere.
No, you said passport.
Yeah, let me finish.
Okay, go on. You did say the word passport. Okay, yeah.
And at my new job, I kind of want to change it to say Indavid because that's the name on my passport and that was what was actually given to me.
Yeah, good. I thought you meant the name of your passport's Indy and I was like, you had to change. What's that about?
No.
We need to question our friendship. What are you doing?
No. Relax.
That's interesting.
Can I continue?
So, no, you can't because then should I stop? Okay. Yeah, shall I stop calling you Indy then?
You can call me what you want.
No, but why do you want the people at work to call you Indavid? See, this is the point I was making. It's not about nicknames. I was just saying that if you use your full name because you refer to yourself in that and what's your name, say it properly. It wasn't do you use that versus do you use a nickname. But you're having a separate thing, which is like I want people to use my full name. I am having a
separate thing. Yes,
it is. Yeah, no, but that's good. That's good to delineate. So why should I be able to call you Indy and they can't call you Indy?
No, they can, but on my directory and all my emails, etc., I want it to say Indavid. And if you've never met me before, it should be Indavid.
So when it comes to a comfort level, then it can be.
Yes. Fine. Understood?
And who can call you Jagga? That's the real question.
Absolutely no one. That name died years ago.
So the fans. And we're still on the lookout for a name for us, right? We're not there.
No, we have, man.
Indoctrinators or...
Indrians.
Drindians.
Yeah.
Drindians, man.
Okay, I knew you were going to do that.
It's got those vibes in it. Right,
it's not. Anyway,
right.
Going back to the
show looked mad though. It looked really good, the pictures.
It did, and it was good. So thank you to Tina, Saminda and Nav who said hi. Very good meeting you guys, and I enjoyed saying hi to you guys. It was super cool. The way you spotted me from across the venue as well. Didn't expect that at all. But thank you for listening every week, and we really appreciate it, genuinely, Doctor and I. And I was not expecting that to happen at a Tez event because I don't think many people knew about us doing a pub with him, but clearly they did. So thank you guys, man. Much appreciated. Oh, tap the mic. Right, Gordon.
Anji.
Lastly, I went to Paratha Box yesterday.
Yes. So we had the invite.
We did.
It nearly didn't happen, didn't it? And then our manager got involved and said, Indy, in that voice. We should attend this. But Sanj was under the impression...
This manager, yeah, okay.
This manager what was her impression of what did she want to do? Let's put some heat on the manager now.
Shall we tell the truth here?
Let's put some truth today.
Okay, let's tell the truth.
What did you think was going to happen?
Paratha Box invited Goran and I to go along to go and see their new venue launch. They invited us to the first one in Slough, but we saw the DM late and didn't see it. And missed it. Second one was obviously opening in East London. So I thought, let's go along. But we got the message and I said, Garan, can you come? You said no. Sanj said, yeah, let's go. I don't get free things from this podcast at all.
Yeah, which has been debunked. We debunked that yesterday.
This podcast doesn't give me anything. Her words are, I don't get anything out of this. Wow. I don't get any free stuff, despite the fact that she got a free top from O'Fresh. I don't get any X, Y, and Z. So I thought, okay, fine, let's go. Didn't get the 5 Rivers. And then I said, okay, fine, let's go. She said, okay, cool. So I'm coming. My sister's coming. I said, whoa. I said, read the message. The message said, food for 2.
Bring one guest or one order.
Come, bring one guest, basically. 2. I was like, Sanj, read the DM. And she's like, oh, okay, cool. Fine. So we then agreed to go. We said, we'll be there. Cool. Thank you. The week of, Sanj's sisters are here around because they want us to take the kids to a fireworks display to a school that's near us. Yeah.
Bonfire night and stuff. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. And they went from saying, can we park at ours, which is completely fine, to let's have food at ours. And we said, okay, sweet, we can do that. But I said, but we need to go to this launch and then come back afterwards and we'll bring some food back. Yeah. Which is fine. Okay. Sanj then said, do we have to go? And I said, you dare. The absolute nerve. The amount of slander you put on my name to say I don't get you things. I'm going to take you to something. And then you don't want to go? What? And she was like, okay, we'll go. I said, no. Don't give me the begrudgingness. Yeah. You wanted to go. We are going.
Happily go. You will enjoy your Paratha eating experience. And you will forever know that the free Paratha milia.
Exactly. There you go.
Inni gal piche.
So now, no slander will ever be put on our name.
So wait. How was the Paratha eating experience first?
You know what, bro? Genuinely, I didn't write that as a post because they asked me to. I said I wanted to write this because I genuinely felt that way. I had the food and it was something different, and that's what I appreciate about it. It's not just standard Paratha.
So give us an idea. The business is what? What you go there and what is it?
So you go there and you just think, oh, it's just simply Paratha, right? At a place. It is that. You can get standard Paratha, but you can also get a bunch of other stuff, which is you can get pizza on Paratha. So the Paratha is the base. You can put pizza on top.
Pause. Say it again. What's the base?
You can have a Paratha as a base.
Paratha is the base. On top of that, you got the fillings, like the pizza.
Cheese and the filling on top, yeah.
My brain hurts. I can't comprehend that.
Got it.
Did you try it?
I tried it. Open mind. Try it. It tastes
definitely try it, but did you roll it up?
I had the pizza.
Did it look like a slice?
I tried to get the pepperoni one. I couldn't because it wasn't there because it was a launch, right? So I had the grilled steak.
Pepperoni on Paratha.
I had listen. I had the grilled steak chicken on top, and it was beautiful because it came in a wrap. They essentially made it into a wrap.
So it doesn't look like a Paratha. You know why I'm saying this? Because two things.
But I ate it and it was sensational. I was like, this works. I don't know why, but it works.
Do you associate meat with a Paratha? That's what I'm asking you. No, you don't. You
can also get Kimba Paratha there as well.
You can
there's a bunch of other stuff.
And look, we've got my mate who has a bloody spam ale paratha. I saw him earlier today.
Right, so what I'm trying to say to you is don't knock it until you try it. They also were doing like garlic bread paratha as well. And I thought, I'm not going to knock... Exactly. And I thought, I'm not going to knock it until I try it.
To be fair, I've had that in India.
So there you go. It's nothing out of the ordinary. It's nice.
But it's meat. It's just the concept of meat on paratha, that seems a bit odd. But
why is a paratha sacred all of a sudden? Why is a paratha sacred all of a sudden? You can't put meat on it.
It's not. I'm not saying it's religious. Paratha isn't religious. I'm just saying that generally, most paratha people eat are what? Plain paratha, aloo paratha, methele paratha. No meat.
Exactly, but this is beautiful. It was so good.
Yeah, but the other point you're trying to make there is it doesn't look like a paratha. It doesn't sound like it looks like a paratha either. It's like a wrap.
It was a wrap, but if you get the garlic bread one, which is a garlic paratha, it's not garlic bread, it's a garlic paratha, right?
Okay.
If you get that with the layer of cheese on top, it comes out as a paratha with cheese on top. It's good.
So do I normal looking paratha as well?
Yeah. So
Sanj people having it with dahi?
Sanj had normal paratha with chole. And then I had, what did I have? I had obviously mine, and then we ordered a bunch of paratha to take home. We took 3 aloo paratha and 3 plain home.
It's interesting. Plain paratha?
Yeah. 3 plain, 3 aloo, yeah.
What 3 with what? Dahi?
Dahi at home, yeah.
Dahi at home. Plain, do you feel plain paratha with dahi is kind of a waste though?
No, I don't, but I like it as a snack. It's not a full meal, but I like it as a snack.
Personal preference, but if I'm going to eat plain paratha, the only time I can eat plain paratha is with the sabji. Like I'll have it with gobi or paratha or whatever. But if there's dahi, a plain paratha and dahi is like the most boring thing in the world for me. It has to be aloo, menthe. Did they have menthe paratha as well?
I think so. I'll have a look at the menu online, man. I didn't analyze everything and flip and put it in my memory. You know, I just saw the things that take on my fancy. And I wanted to go and try something very out of the box, out of the Paratha Box. Anyway.
The Paratha Box.
So that was that, man. That's been the list of all of our events that we've been to. Oh, I also went to Comicon with Bao and Sanj. That was fun. The London Comicon is unbelievably better than the Birmingham Comicon. It's 4 times the size.
I can imagine.
So much fun.
Yeah. Wait, did Bao dress up again or not? He didn't dress up?
No, he didn't. No. He wore a couple of t-shirts, which is cool. A couple of different t-shirts.
Okay.
Fine. He had a nice time. People fully dress up there. Like crazy dress up.
Fair play, man. You got time, do it. We went to a kid's Halloween party today, and there was instruction for parents to wear Halloween costumes. So as we were pulling it into the car park, we see, so this is our school friend, right? But he obviously has
Halloween's
friends.
over. It's the 9th of November.
Yeah,
we're past this now.
Kids party. Listen, so we pull up in the car park, and he obviously has friends from other circles, okay? Family friends or uni friends or whatever. But all our school friends, that's a different group. So we see basically they come as like Shrek characters, including the husband, and like a lot of effort. I was like, yo. And then I see my boys get out, 0 costumes. I'm like, that's it.
There you got the memo.
Unity. Yeah. Unity, man. Because no time, man. But Shindy went as Wednesday Adams from Adams Family. She looked very scarily good. Like Wednesday, yeah. All black. So yeah. And the final thing I'll say is, man, you can hear I'm Bamara, man. I sound like Indy. Nursery is a constant source of Bamari.
Of course it is.
Constant
Kids are
source
just
of
walking germs, man.
But the thing is, because you love them so much, you can't stop yourself from like cuddling them and hugging them and kissing them. Like,
you can't.
So I have Ekkam. I'm like, I know it's going to happen. And then I got double whammy because I got a hospital.
You are walking coronavirus. That's it.
Oh yeah, man. But I cannot go back to putting that mask on. It just ruins my daddy, man.
I can't do it either, man.
You got to imagine, my daddy was like
especially
half
with
the
the moisture
size like
sitting around your daddy on your face.
Yeah.
Can't do it.
And this size daddy, it only covers like this bit, and the rest of us.
Yeah, when it covers that bit, you take it off. It's like someone's imprinted in your daddy. Like everything's pulled in place, and it's like someone's put a suction cup on your face and then just taking it off. Right?
Exactly
it's like you've had cupping treatment on your mouth. All right, it's mad.
Yeah, don't miss those days.
Very good.
Very good.
Thank you for listening to this extended episode this week. It's been a long one, but I've enjoyed it. Darren, I'll see you in 2 weeks now, yeah?
Oh, he's had to get that in there. Is it 2 weeks?
It is 2 weeks, yeah.
We're shooting...
bit busy, yeah. We're not for next week.
Yeah, this is. But I'm seeing you next week. Live look.
It'll be filmed in a special location. Special location, people, for the next episode.
Inshallah.
Keep your eyes peeled. Goodbye.
Thank you guys for watching. Check out the rest of our episodes here and don't forget to subscribe here. We'll see you guys on the next one.